Imagine standing in the middle of a cold night nearly 2 million years ago. There are no cities, no electricity, no music, no phones, no language as we know it today. Only darkness, broken by the soft orange glow of a small fire. Around that fire sits a group of ancient humans. Their day has been difficult. They hunted for food, escaped dangerous predators, and walked for miles just to survive another sunrise. Everyone is quiet. The only sounds are the crackling fire, the wind moving through the trees, and insects hidden in the darkness. Then, something unexpected happens. One member of the group slips on a rock. He falls backward into a pile of dry leaves. For a second, everyone freezes. Then another person makes a strange sound. Ha! Another follows. Ha! Ha! Soon the entire group is making noises unlike anything ever heard before. Laughter. Could this have been the very first laugh in human history? Of course, no one was there to record it. There were no cameras, no books, no written history. But scientists believe laughter is far older than language itself. That means humans may have laughed long before they ever spoke their first words. And that raises one of the strangest questions imaginable. Why? Why would evolution create something as strange as laughter? After all, laughing doesn't help you run faster. It doesn't make you stronger. It doesn't help you catch food. So why has every healthy human on Earth laughed since childhood? The answer may completely change the way you think about being human. To understand the first laugh, we first need to travel back millions of years, long before modern humans existed. Our ancestors looked very different. They had smaller brains, hairier bodies, powerful arms. They spent most of their lives searching for food while constantly watching for predators hiding nearby. Every day was dangerous. A single mistake could mean death. Living under that kind of pressure would seem to leave no room for fun. Yet researchers believe laughter may have been one of humanity's greatest survival tools. That sounds impossible. But think about it. Imagine you're living with 20 other people. You depend on each other for food, protection, and survival. How do you know who can be trusted? How do you know who is your friend? How do you calm everyone's fear after escaping a hungry lion? Words barely exist, but emotions do. A smile, a relaxed face, a playful sound. These simple signals tell others, the danger is over. We're safe. You can relax. Scientists think early laughter may have started as exactly this kind of signal. Not comedy, not jokes, just relief. Imagine escaping a deadly animal. Your heart is racing. You finally realize everyone survived. The tension suddenly disappears. That release of stress could have produced the very first laugh-like sound. In other words, the first laugh may have been born from fear, not happiness. Script Part 2. Who was the first human to laugh? Now imagine that same group of ancient humans sitting around the fire. The fear is gone. The hunt is over. Everyone is finally safe. One person makes a strange sound, a short burst of air followed by an unusual facial expression. The others look confused. Then someone copies the sound. Another joins in. Within seconds, the entire group is making the same noise. No one planned it. No one taught it. It simply spread. This is something scientists call emotional contagion. Humans naturally copy the emotions of the people around them. When one person smiles, others often smile back. When one person laughs, it becomes difficult for others not to laugh too. This ability may have existed long before humans built cities or even developed complex language. But here's where the story becomes even stranger. What if humans weren't actually the first animals to laugh? It sounds impossible, but scientists have discovered that several animals make laughter-like sounds during play. Chimpanzees, our closest living relatives, produce panting sounds when they wrestle with each other. Gorillas and orangutans do something similar. These sounds aren't exactly like human laughter, but they serve the same purpose. They signal that this is play, not a real fight. Imagine two young chimpanzees chasing each other through the forest. They push, jump, and tumble to the ground. Without a signal, another chimp might think they're actually fighting and rush in to attack. Instead, those playful sounds tell everyone nearby, relax, we're only playing. That simple sound prevents confusion and keeps the group peaceful. Now think about early humans. Our ancestors also played. Children chased one another. Adults practiced hunting by pretending. Friends wrestled to become stronger. Laughter may have evolved as the perfect signal that everyone was safe. It was like evolution's way of saying, "Don't worry, this isn't danger." But something incredible happened as the human brain grew larger. Laughter stopped being only a survival signal. It became something much more powerful. As humans evolved bigger brains, they began to notice patterns. They started recognizing when something unexpected happened. Imagine watching your friend confidently walk toward a river. He steps onto what looks like solid ground. But suddenly, splash! He falls straight into the water. For 1 second, your brain expects one outcome. Instead, something completely different happens. That tiny surprise creates confusion. Your brain quickly realizes no one is hurt. The tension disappears. And suddenly, you laugh. Even today, that's how many jokes work. They build one expectation, then completely destroy it. Your brain loves surprises. That's why a clever joke, a funny face, or an unexpected moment can make you laugh without even trying. But laughter isn't just happening in your mouth. It's happening all over your body. When you laugh, dozens of muscles move together. Your lungs push air out in quick bursts. Your heart rate changes. Your brain releases chemicals like dopamine and endorphins, making you feel happier and reducing stress. Scientists sometimes call laughter nature's free medicine. It lowers stress. It helps people connect. It can even reduce pain for a short time. Think about that for a moment. Millions of years ago, our ancestors faced hunger, storms, dangerous animals, and constant uncertainty. Any natural ability that reduced stress and strengthened friendships would have been incredibly valuable. Groups that laughed together may have trusted each other more. They may have worked better as a team. They may have shared food more often. And when survival depends on teamwork, that could make the difference between life and death. In a strange way, laughter may have helped shape human civilization long before civilization even existed. But here's an even bigger mystery. If laughter is so important, why can't we remember our very first laugh? Every single person on earth has laughed thousands of times, yet none of us remembers the first one. Most babies begin smiling within the first few weeks of life. Real laughter usually appears at around 3 to 4 months old, before they can speak, before they can walk, before they understand jokes. Babies laugh. That tells scientists something fascinating. Laughter doesn't need language. It doesn't need education. It doesn't even need culture. It's built into us from birth. It's one of the oldest parts of being human, which means that somewhere in the distant past, long before the first story was told, long before the first village was built, long before the first written word, a human looked at another human, made a strange sound, and unknowingly started one of the most beautiful traditions our species would ever share. See Script Part 3, Final. Who was the first human to laugh? So, who was the first human to laugh? The truth is, we will probably never know. There are no fossils that preserve laughter. No ancient cave painting tells us who laughed first. No recording exists from millions of years ago. The identity of the very first person to laugh has disappeared forever. But even if we can never know who laughed first, science allows us to understand why laughter became one of humanity's greatest evolutionary advantages. Think about your own life. Have you ever laughed so hard that your stomach hurt, or laughed at the worst possible moment, even when you knew you shouldn't? Maybe during a serious meeting, a quiet classroom, or while someone else was trying not to laugh. It's strange, isn't it? Sometimes the harder you try to stop laughing, the stronger it becomes. That's because laughter isn't controlled only by logic. Deep inside your brain are ancient systems that evolved long before modern thinking. One part of your brain understands rules in social situations. Another older part reacts automatically to emotion. When these two systems collide, laughter can escape before you even realize what's happening. That's why laughter is so difficult to fake, and even more difficult to stop. Now imagine life without laughter. No smiling, no jokes, no funny memories. No laughing with your family. No laughing with your best friend. No laughter after surviving a difficult day. The world would feel colder, more distant, less human. Scientists believe laughter helped our ancestors build stronger friendships. It encouraged trust, reduced fear, lowered stress, and reminded everyone that they belonged to the same group. In many ways, civilization may have been built not only with tools, but also with smiles. And here's something even more amazing. Laughter is one of the few things understood in almost every culture on Earth. You don't need to speak the same language. You don't need to come from the same country. A genuine laugh is recognized almost everywhere. That makes laughter one of the oldest universal languages in human history. Even astronauts aboard the International Space Station laugh together. Even people who have never met can share a laugh. From ancient caves to modern cities, from campfires to space stations, laughter has traveled with humanity every step of the way. But could laughter disappear one day? As technology changes our lives, many conversations happen through screens instead of face-to-face. We send emojis instead of hearing real laughter. Artificial intelligence can imitate laughter. Robots may one day recognize it. But can a machine truly understand what laughter feels like? Maybe not, because laughter isn't just a sound. It's a shared human experience. It's relief after fear, joy after hardship, connection after loneliness. Every laugh carries millions of years of evolution inside it. The next time you laugh at a friend's joke, a funny video, or even a silly mistake, remember this. You're taking part in a tradition that began hundreds of thousands, perhaps even millions of years ago. Somewhere in the distant past, an ancient human made a strange sound. Others joined in. They had no idea they were creating something that would survive every generation to come. Empires would rise and fall. Languages would appear and disappear. Technology would transform the world. But laughter would remain. Maybe that's why it's so powerful. Because it reminds us that no matter how advanced we become, deep inside, we're still connected to those first humans who gathered around a fire beneath the stars. And maybe the first person to laugh never imagined that millions of years later, people all around the world would still be asking the same question. Who was the first human to laugh? If you enjoyed this journey into human history and evolution, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Beyond Evolution, and tell us in the comments, what do you think made the first human laugh? Your answer might be more interesting than any scientist's theory. Until next time, keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep evolving.